Hello everybody, Beth here, finally, after a move to beat all moves. I know moves happen every day, but boy, this one was one to remember. Just a word of advice to anybody that's moving into a house that's been sitting vacant for a little while, a couple years. Beware of the plumbing. And, you know, internet, not guaranteed. You know, after you get service for the first couple weeks. Just putting it out there. It's been fun. But at any rate, that's kind of what got in the way of me bringing you this review, and I apologize. But I'm thrilled to be a reviewer, and even though it's a week late, here I am. The good thing is, when you're late, you get a chance to melt all these wonderful fragrances, so I can give you my impressions on these, both cold sniff and after I warmed them up. So, without further ado, the first one that I'm going to go over is one that Victoria added to her regular line out of the 5 scents that she introduced this month. And this one is Bonfire Bliss. And it's this gorgeous deep red color. Really pretty color. And when you first sniff, on cold throw, it's a very woodsy cedar smell to my nose. And then when you warm it up, it's still predominantly cedar to me, but it has a little bit of sweetness that comes out when you melt it. And it's not an overwhelming cedar. It's really softened by the sweetness. It kind of reminds me of my grandmother used to always put our sweaters away in a cedar chest when the summer hit and spring hit, and then when the cold weather came back, we would go to that cedar chest and she'd get them out, and she always had a real pretty liner that smelled nice inside the cedar, and it kind of mingled together. And I think it was like, you know, amber, honey, or vanilla, or something like that. And that's exactly what this reminds me of. So even if you're not a big cedar fan, even if you're not a big woodsy, earthy person, there's enough sweetness in here that will intrigue some of you as well. Obviously, if you love woodsy, earthy scents, this is for you. This is a must. So it's a very enjoyable scent. So, and all of these this month are really strong throwers for me. So you can be assured that you're going to get a good whiff of all these, as with all of Victoria's scents. So the next one that I wanted to go over is Pomegranate and Oak. And I know that in the description Victoria said don't let the oak scare you, and you know, I think that the pomegranate scared the oak, because on cold sniff that's what you get to my nose. You get a candy-like pomegranate. Very sweet, and it's this gorgeous deep like burgundy kind of purple color. It's really, really pretty. When you melt it, as with Bonfire Bliss, for me, some of those underlying notes popped out. And so that oak kind of peeked out. Very light, nice woodsy, earthy scent. And let's see, what else did I put? Oh, some mulled fruits. If you like Victoria's Best Friends or Bella Swan, where it has those mulled fruits, I think you'll like this one really as well, because those things kind of came out to me as well, along with the pomegranate. The predominant note is pomegranate, so if you like pomegranate, you'll love it. And like I said, earthy lovers, I think you'll like that too. It'll give you enough of a different scent to go to your collection that I think you'll really enjoy. So going on to the black labels that she had. The first one is Sidecar Annie, right there. And I watched Sabrina's and Jared's review before I lost my internet, and and she said that this was cherry tobacco to her, and I couldn't agree more. On cold sniff especially, it's a cherry tobacco to me, and it's just so enjoyable. If you've ever had someone in your family that's been a pipe smoker, as Sabrina mentioned, it'll take you right back to sitting around the fire with that grandpa or whoever it was, and just very reminiscent. Reminds you of the autumn and winter. Excellent time for this to come out. As with all of her black labels, it's highly complex, so yes, it's predominantly cherry tobacco, but when you melt it, for me, some of those other little underlying notes come out. It has kind of like a soft, downy base to it, kind of a slight powdery base to it, and some honey sweetness that comes out. And so, you know, it takes what might have been a very masculine scent and makes it into more of a unisex scent. So, you know, don't let the tobacco description scare you off. If you like sweet smells, if you like reminiscent smells, this has a lot for everybody. So I would highly recommend trying it out. I enjoyed it, as with all these. And the next one that I will go over is Between the Sheets. And like I said, I watched Sabrina and Jared go over this, and they did such a great job. I don't know how I can add anything to it. You know, theme music for each one, come on, that's professional right there. But again, Sabrina and I didn't realize that our noses were so similar, because she mentioned a dryer sheet, and it kind of reminds me of a dryer sheet as well on cold. And then when I warmed it up, it reminded me of going to, we used to have to go to the cosmetic counter to get some dusting powder, and you get, you know, the little tin with the little poof, and that's what this kind of reminded me of, you know, warmed up, you know, it got a little more complex, and so it's that powdery, downy, soft note predominantly, and then you get a little bit of that sweet rose that comes through, and I know with most people, it seems like you either love or you hate rose, and I'm not, to be honest, I'm not really a rose lover per se, but for me, this one tones it down so well that it's beautiful. It's just a really neat mixture of these scents. So even something that I wouldn't normally go for, this one was just so girly and just so light and fresh. And so really, if you like fresh scents, if you like girly scents, perfumey scents, this one will be a great one for you to try. So, and then going on to my favorite, Golden Cadillac. And this one has, on cold, it's funny because it has like 3 different types of vanillas in it, like, you know, vanilla bean and what is it, creamy French vanilla and caramel and all these wonderful scents. And I don't know why, but my nose picked up butterscotch, and maybe it's a reminiscent thing again. These are so memory evoking for me that I just tend to go right to, oh, this reminds me of this, as with most everyone, I think. But for me, this was just straight up butterscotch. Rich, creamy, deep, buttery butterscotch. And when I warmed it up, it was warm butterscotch. And if you can make butterscotch better, warm it up. It's just, like I said, rich, buttery, warm. My mother made a wonderful butterscotch dessert for Christmas when I was growing up, and this reminds me of that so much. So if you like bakery, I mean, I have to admit this is my fave. If you like bakery like I do, if you like sweet scents, this is definitely a must for you. You'll love it. So those are my cold and warm impressions of Victoria's 5 new scents for this month. And it was such a pleasure to bring them to you, even though I was a little late. Thanks so much, Victoria, for giving me the opportunity to review them for everybody. I had a blast, and thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully I'll see you more here on YouTube. Bye-bye.